Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Exciting ball game. I think it was a great step for our program to win that first playoff game. It was a huge step for our program, for our university, and obviously, hopefully the experience of being able to do that will pay dividends down the road. Hopefully, we'll play a little more consistent football. We did some uncharacteristic, obviously, mistakes in the ball game. I don't know if it was the jitters or whatever else, the pressure of the situation, but or the layoff. I mean, you can just point to all types of excuses, but the fact is, we made some huge mistakes that we had to overcome. And credit to our players, we did. We overcame them, and had some big plays that are late with the fourth down stop, the third down stop, and then obviously ultimately the last-minute drive to win the ball game. So a huge step for our program, huge step for our team, and we're looking forward to obviously being able to host New Hampshire here. I think it's another huge step. Obviously, you get to host a quarterfinal game. Now we get the first quarterfinal game ever in Strawberry Stadium, and it will be a huge opportunity for our team to face a team that obviously has done a tremendous job in the playoffs. What a great program. They've been in the playoffs 10 straight years and 7 quarterfinal appearances. They've done an outstanding job. They're a very well coached football team. They're very good from top to bottom. Special teams, offense, defense. They're a very good football team, and we're looking forward to the challenge. I think this is going to be a challenge to see how well can we play. I know it's great to have a home field advantage. That's a huge part. Our stadium, our fans were electrifying Saturday, and I know we'll have a little bit more of the same, and we're going to need that obviously in the quarterfinals to get past this team and to move on and advance to the semifinal matchup. Go ahead.
You know, conference call this morning, you kind of said the team that y'all played this year that you could compare to South Dakota State, kind of style-wise.
Not defensively. I would defensively, not offensively. They're not. It's different. But defensively, I think they're very similar. They're big, physical inside. Just the two inside guys I've been impressed with. They're just technicians. They play really well. High motor guys. Their backers inside are very athletic, can run really well. That's their strength of it. They've got a lot of the guys that can run and make plays and stuff like that. But I think when you talk about the two inside guys and those backers, they're pretty impressive.
On outfits, do they look like anybody y'all play?
Probably a lot of people. They're a spread team, got obviously a bunch of weapons. And now, excuse me on names. Still, I don't know the names. 15, 81 a receiver. 15 is probably as good as anybody in the country as a receiver, talent-wise. Big kid, can run. Runs real well with the ball in his hands too. The tailback 22 is a great player. I would compare him a lot to a Flanders type kid. He's a big physical kid, yet can jump cut and make people miss in open space, and just a really good running back. Quarterback is a dual threat guy. He's got a strong arm, but is pretty dynamic with his feet and be able to pull the ball down and make people miss and make big plays with his feet and create and get the first downs and stuff.
For them, what kind of challenge is playing so far away from home present?
For them,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going to do with their clockwise and stuff. But they're an experienced ball club. I'm not going obviously can't count on that to be one of our pluses. But they're experienced enough. Their coach is too to obviously be in the playoffs. You've been 10 straight years. You've got kids and you've got seniors that have been there for 4 straight years. So they're obviously a veteran ball club, probably going to be able to handle their business.
Coach, what would you say about your team that you had some mistakes early in the game and that didn't seem to phase your guys? I guess that's kind of stuff that can carry all forward in the coming weeks. That hey, we had made some mistakes and we didn't look too good at the beginning, but man, we came on strong at the end.
Yeah, I think it speaks to our mental toughness. I mean, we talk all the time to our team about being mentally tough, and what is that doing? It's doing what's necessary to be successful, and not dwelling about on your past, whether it be on daily events or whether it be in the past of a ball game. You can't do that. The only thing you can do is really focus on things you can control, and that's the next play, it's the next series, it's the next drive. And I think that was big. I also think just the fact of now playing with a lot of confidence in our 10-game win streak that kids believe they can get things done, and that's going to play. That plays big dividends in the playoffs.
Looking at the tape a few days later, and I was looking also. for Brian Bennett to go 6-6 on that final drive, I mean, that was kind of almost Drew Brees-esque there. I mean, it was just hitting all his receivers. Did you see something in tape that just, I mean, were you kind of amazed when you saw it, looking back at it, how perfect he was in all his passes?
Not really. I mean, I think you're around Brian enough, and we see it on practice every week, and we see it, and I've seen it many times throughout the season that, he's capable of doing that. And our receivers were outstanding, that they just creating separation and getting open, O-line protection, and it was a total group effort. But Brian's very capable of doing that anytime, and I've said it before, I think out here, that he's really probably underrated as a passer. Just because we do so much option and run and stuff with him, and we don't let him we don't just drop back and sling it 45, 50 times a game, that sometimes he may be overlooked. That I think if he was throwing 40, 50 times a game, I think he can put up numbers just with anybody else in the country. I don't think he can do that.
You guys have big physical corners up on the outside. I mean, not weight-wise, but in terms of size, I mean, they're pretty equal here. Just what can you do on the edges there against their two receivers with the kind of size you guys have? What can they do coverage-wise, or has it?
Well, I think we got guys that can man up and cover them and do those things. I don't think we're not going to want to do that all night long, because I mean he's a seasoned. They're both got two seasoned receivers. The problem they're going to present to us, I think, really receivers. They move him a lot of places. 15 plays. He'll play anyway. He'll be at the outside spot. He'll be inside. He'll be inside the third receiver inside. He's going to motion. They're going to move him around quite a bit to create matchups that they're looking for. And we're expecting that they're going to try to get him matched up on our safeties and on our linebackers and try to create a mismatch that way. I think we'll be fine when he's on the corners. I really do. I think we're pretty good at those positions. But he's going to create some problems for us inside if we can't handle it right, be able to mix up our coverage and dictate where he's at.
Coach, the other night they go 65 yards in their opening drive.
Yeah.
Other than that late run, they had the late 52-yard run. You really kind of held them there. Were y'all doing anything different, or was it just executing?
No, there's more executing. Guys settled down, just executed the first drive. Maybe some of it's on Sam Houston. They're pretty good. They're a good football team. They're a really good offensive team. But I think really, I thought throughout the night, I really felt that I think our defense played an exceptional football game. Anytime when you can go, I think we held them to on 3rd and 4th down, 0 for 15, and then held them to 3 of 19 yards passing for 50. That's the big thing in the game. They're so good at running the football. They're going to get that, and they got great backs and tailback. Everybody carrying the ball is very talented, but. I think the big difference in the ball game is what we were able to do in the passing game and what we were able to do on the terminal downs, 3rd down, 4th down. Unbelievable success. Great job by our defensive staff, Coach Golding, defense coaches, and then obviously the players just do an unbelievable job executing and getting the job done.
Is this a more balanced team you're facing this week?
Yeah, they're a little more balanced. And it's hard to say that when you say it. I mean, Sam Houston's incredible pass efficiency. They've been outstanding in that part coming up to that game. They're about as good a running team as there is anywhere in the country. This team, again, going to do it a little different ways. They do a lot of different things, gadgets, reverses, a lot of different misdirections, gadgets, halfback pass, double pass, reverse pass, throwback quarter. I mean, I've seen more in their games than I've seen from anybody else all year combined, probably, as far as gadget play. So we're going to see a little. They're going to keep you on your toes, and they're going to play it wide open. Their offensive coordinator, who is very creative, and obviously they're doing a good job of executing them as well.
Coach Roberts, when you got Brian, recruiting Brian to come here to Southeastern, are these some of the things you sold him on, that there really is no football legacy here, that he could start a legacy? Was that kind of the selling point, or how did you get it?
Well, I mean, the selling point was that we were going to win, and you kind of, you got to explain to them that past that, we've done some things, and that you kind of had to take that leap of blind faith and believe in us. And I think luckily we had some other people call him that said, hey, yeah, you need to buy in. He's probably going to, you're going to be able to get this done. That we had other people around him. We were going to have a supporting cast that he could win with. It's kind of talk to him about that. Hey, we're going to have a defense that's going to be, going to be pretty good. We're going to have a chance to be one of the better defenses in the conference, and those type of things. And you're trying to sell on the fact that we're here to win championships and compete for national championships.
With this team making so much history and every step forward being history from now on, is it almost a relief to get that first playoff win out of the way?
I think it's going to be huge for us. Yeah, that's just another, first ever, and there's so much talk about that. It's hard to keep the kids sheltered from it. And there's so much talk from everybody and the excitement of Game 1. You can do what you want. I try to, but you can't shelter from everything they're hearing when they're outside our doors, when they're walking to class, and when they're, they turn on the radio or TV, or talking to team, people back home or whatever. There's so much people putting there's probably a lot of pressure on them.
Does this one feel more like a playoff game, though? Maybe that's a team that you haven't played before.
Yeah, it is. I like it. I'm excited about it. That's what you really want. You want to get in the playoffs and be able to face some teams from different regions, a different part of the country. It's a new face, a different experience. This is something that's going to, I think, really more than anything, experiences like this can really help build your program and really help to cast it and take that next step forward and jump forward with your program as a growth and experience. That's a big thing. You can't underestimate the value of the experience our players getting to do, line up against somebody from New Hampshire and go play in a playoff game. That's going to benefit our program down the road.
Coach, how big was your defense on that 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1 to hold them in that situation?
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Great job by a lot of people, but obviously that drive was it, because obviously they convert on that first down, game's over with. The clock's going to run out, and there's nothing we can do about it. So obviously that was big. And then there's a big turn eventually, go 2nd down, 3rd down, and then obviously the drive, you put it together. We talk about that all the time. Is being at your best when your best is needed. That's when you got to be. And our guys did that.
Injury situation, I know kind of towards the end you kind of had some guys not go down, but kind of go on the field, but came back.
Yeah.
Okay, injury-wise?
Yeah, I think we're okay. I think actually, yeah. And we're going to get a couple back. Marshall Parrish didn't play last week, our center. Jeremy Williams didn't play last week. We think we're going to get both of them back for this game, so that would be huge. And so hopefully we'll be a little stronger, a little more depth than we had last week.
What sort of challenge do you expect the linebacking core to face with this offense that can stretch you out and sort of?
The biggest challenge still is going to be, they're back at 22. I mean, they got a couple running backs, but 22 is the guy he's their main guy, and he's pretty phenomenal. You're going to do a great job of tackling him. But with all the misdirection stuff, that's make sure they see their keys, and they're going to have to be consistent, because that's what it's based off of. Get you wrong one time and gash you out the back. And so we're going to have to be really disciplined and staying home and trust our teammates that they're going to do their job and don't try to do somebody else's. And that'll be a big game for them, real big.
Going back to that last drive, for you guys, I know they did a good job of bringing a lot of pressure early when you guys, they go back to when they hit the safety down there, but
Yeah.
It was just me looking, it looked like maybe they kind of backed off, or maybe you guys changed blocking schemes up front, but it looks like Brian had a little more time to work back there on that last drive.
Well, no, they were still bringing pressure on the last drive. I mean, they were still bringing it. They went in the second half, went to more of an odd man front, what gave us a little fits in the third quarter. They've done it in the past. At the moment we weren't sure, but they did a lot of it in the third quarter and kind of gave us some fits with that. But in that last drive, I think it was just really about offensive line and backs protecting. Just didn't, down that drive, we executed and got things done.
Does the experience factor kind of lessen for this game? I mean, y'all been here, done that now. I know they've been there the last 10 years now.
Yeah.
Does it kind of
Hopefully, just getting that first playoff win, that first playoff experience under our belt is going to help. And I think also, we were off quite a bit. I tried to downplay a little bit, but you never know really how it's going to affect your team until you get back on the field. And obviously, we made mistakes that were a little uncharacteristic. So obviously, it did hurt us. You don't, like I said, you don't know. I mean, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. We were healthier, but we did do some mental things that we characteristically have not done. So I think hopefully getting that week under us, and hopefully we'll play better this week.
How much more do you feel like that affected the offense and the defense? I look at it, the defense itself, if you took out big plays, only giving up 3 to 4 yards.
Right. Besides the first drive and then the long run late, I mean, I think it was a pretty phenomenal game defensively. And offensively, if you go to the first half, I don't, I mean, I'd say the only things I can really say is really it's the pick six first, and then it's the fumbled punt, and then we missed a pickup on the blitz on the twist game inside for the safety, and which turns out to be 16 points, and without those 3 plays. This isn't a ball game, You know, I mean, so but there are three pretty key mistakes that we made. But that's the difference in big time ball games. You know.
These guys have been pretty even keel, but I mean, that game Saturday night, that was really emotional thing, you know?
Yeah.
Now you've got to kind of,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if you bring them back down and say, hey, we still got work to do. How does that work with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's part of it. They know that. I mean, we've been preparing for that for a while, though. That, you know, that playoff football, and we tried to really reference to our guys in that off week and stuff was that, you know, the stretch that we had. I think when you look back at our schedule and you say we went McNeese, UCA, Sam Houston, all three top 25 teams back to back to back. That's it. That's playoff football. You're going to play off a top 25 team. You're going to have to do it every week, and you can't back down. And so hopefully that part of our schedule is going to lean in our favor. And then also we had to go back. We had to play TCU and South Dakota State back to back, and then and Sanford, who were all you know, playoff caliber teams. So there's three. We had two stretches in our schedule that we had to do it back to back to back. So hopefully that's going to be a plus in our favor that we really have been there.
People have looked at Keelan's numbers, and obviously that bears mentioning out, but Isaiah's been solid for you guys coming in 1 year and playing,
Yeah.
and producing. Just, you know, what did you see, I guess, and then kind of that old cliche, what did you see from him that made you think he was going to be a good fit? That's part of how you think he's fit well into what you want to do at that second level.
Isaiah?
Yeah.
Well, he's probably a little different story than most of them. If you know, I signed him out of high school, so he was with me the year before. We redshirted him, and then when I took the job up here, he went to junior college. So we've had an opportunity to be on the field with him and be around him to know that he fit with what we wanted. So that's probably a little different than anything. We felt we knew him pretty well when that recruiting battle started. So.